response to what you were saying of how do we have to be as healers, and in response to your saying that if I have alcohol in my system, that alcohol is present in my acupuncture, because I live in this not conscious, neither conscious nor subconscious emptiness, this silence. I often tell clients, if you listen to my head, it's dead silent, there's nothing in there. In that place of silence, the body has the opportunity to find what it needs to step up to handle whatever challenges are there, with a few little suggestions for, did you ever try this? And I think the resources are always there, like the jewelweed and the poison ivy. But it takes a crisis to get past the conscious mind to achieve that animal subconscious response that will keep you alive. I create challenges and silence, where I'm not giving you any judgment about, well, a sophisticated person wouldn't do this, and I remind you, an example, I say, how do you make a soldier out of a raw recruit in 6 weeks flat? And most people say, oh, you just tear him down and destroy him. And I say, no, it's simpler than that. You throw the challenge of stress at the person, and you make him respond with a, sir, yes, sir, which is an engagement of the transverse abdominis, which immediately engages the multifidus. And as the stress is thrown at the soldier, as the stress is thrown at the soldier, I'm going to put my hand on your chest and push, don't do anything special. Now, come back here, and go. Feel a whole lot more stability?
Yeah, sure do.
You know that in real life, because what do you say when you're mad? Usually it's a 4-letter word beginning with an F, an S, or so that jewelweed has always been there, but it's only called up under extreme duress. Well, the military, without even knowing they're doing it, are causing the recruits to find that physiological engagement under crisis and own it, and pretty soon we are grunts, we can take it. We redefine ourselves around that new resource. All I do is give you a challenge, show you a resource, and allow you to redefine yourself around something you always knew, but forgot you knew.
How about you, Mika?
Well, yeah, one of the things that I'm encouraging my clientele to consider is this idea that we were brainwashed into thinking we were inferior, and keeping our standards very, very low. It goes around on day to day. For example, golf. A lot of people play golf. Very, very few people can hit par. Let's just say par is 72. So I've been playing golf for 20 years, and I finally broke 85. So we have lower standards. So throughout the life society, we lowered our standards. You can't be like this person because they're special. You can't have the money, you can't be this, you can't be the healer, you can't be the president of the school. Only special people get it. Our special people are allowed to do that. In fact, we're all special. But this constant reminder that only special people do this, and then pretty soon it gets locked in. I'm not special, I can't do it. I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, we're at the time now where this energy is changing, everything is shifting, so I'm encouraging people to at least consider. You're much more special than you think, for lack of a better word. And part of esoteric acupuncture is to open up that higher center to realize, hey, maybe I am special. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can lose the weight. Maybe I can, whatever it is, aspire for other things. Maybe I can be very, very quiet. And like Johnny said, when you're very, very quiet, that silent space, it's not easy to clear your mind, but that silent space is where amazing things happen. And I'm able to go to that space. That's how I wrote 4 of the 5 books. I'm in this very, very quiet place, and then things get downloaded into my consciousness. But everybody, in reality, everybody is special. But most people have been programmed, even if they may think that they're special. Deep down, they know they're not special because they were told that from as a small child. So the esoteric acupuncture is an attempt to open up those keynotes. Something you were special. You knew that from past lives. Something happened along the way, and you just started to believe you were not special. And with the special idea and different level of consciousness, amazing things can happen in your life. And if amazing things happen in your life, they will go to people next to you. And if this critical mass happens, then we're going to have an amazing planet. But it starts with each individual thinking, yes, not in an egotistical way, but just knowing. There's a difference between having the ego and just knowing something. That knowing comes from the energy of the heart. When you know things by heart, the exoteric definition, I know things by heart, means rote memorization. But on another level, when you know things by heart, you didn't read it, someone didn't tell you something, you just know it. I know something, I have this feeling, I just know it. That's tapping into that quiet space where other things come through. So I'm telling people, start seeing yourself. You know things by heart. You don't have to left brain it. The heart, there's very, very different levels of the heart, and as you open up the higher head centers, you have to go through the levels of the heart to get there. So by understanding, I know things by heart, a whole other world opens up. And this is the beginning of you are special, everyone around you is special, and let's do special things to help other people. So that's one of the little philosophies I'm trying to encourage people to consider.
Thank you. Well, I would say, I resonate a lot when you're talking about what's going through your hand, what's going through the needle. Because one of the key points that differentiates integral medicine from integrative medicine is actually that integral medicine addresses what is the consciousness, what is the energy state of the practitioner, not just an assortment of different modalities of treatment, but actually what's going on inside of the person who's the practitioner in that engagement, and what is their consciousness about. If someone is there to see me and they're a patient, they're a client, and they present their problems and their issues to me, and I'm busy worried about what's going on in my personal life, money issues, relationship issues, political issues, doesn't matter what it is, but if my mindset is distracted off into some other field, and I'm not completely still inside, I'm not in that silent space, then I'm not fully present for this person. And even worse, if a lot of what I'm thinking about or am affected by energetically are negative experiences, negative thoughts, I'm mad at somebody, I'm feeling guilty about something, I'm in victimhood consciousness, I'm in scarcity consciousness, etc., then these are also contaminants to the energy field that exists between myself and this patient or this client. And just as you're saying that alcohol or that sugar or whatever else it is that may be in the person's system is going through them and into the other person, so would these kinds of thoughts, these kinds of negative thoughts and negative emotions also go through me into that field of engagement.
Now, I come from the other end, and I say it comes up chi. Every martial art in the world is Tai Chi, Aikido, Taekwondo. Chi, Ki, Quan means the life force. If you have an open channel to the life force, the power of the body is beyond belief. If you're a martial artist, take with your socks off, please. You take a very strong, with your socks off, fourth position. Fight or flight. And just, if the life force is flowing unbroken from the earth, come on, try harder than that. I'm standing on a straight leg, and if the force is coming straight through me without a break, I am grounded. But if I'm not grounded, where does that lesson come from? It comes from, Mommy, Mommy! What, honey? The mother grounds and lets the energy go right straight through her, and the process of letting it go through you is exactly the same process. Now put your hand on my chest. And I can ground your force just as easily, and if I don't ground it, and then if I do ground it, and if this arm is getting high enough above me, I can manipulate, ground, push. I can ground, I can push. Take all the force that you throw and aim it at a center where I can handle it. So whether you're exerting force or receiving force, the physiological alignment is identical. And if you learned it in childhood from a mom who grounded for you, and you can apply that with incoming force, I'm going to hit you. And I want you to relax your butt, relax your throat, relax every muscle in your body. Did it hurt? Now tighten your butt. Ow! feels really different. Now relax your asshole, relax your butt, and relax your feet again. And notice, there's no pain when you relax and let it go through you. In martial arts, we learn that if we let it go through us, there is no hurt, there's no reaction, there's no pain. The ability to learn that comes from child with mom modeling it for us. There's a series of lessons we're supposed to learn in a sequence we're supposed to learn them in, and if we learn them, we have health from the earth up. Chi flows through us and we're healthy. If we don't, if we're broken I discover fight or flight, the position you were just in, and I'm attacked by two boys, and I beat one of them up, and I go, Daddy, they tried to beat me up, and I won. And Daddy says, you didn't win, you little turd, you tore your shirt, now my neighbor's. I have the tool, but I have a charge about not using it. That is the negative stuff that takes away our power. So one, the power must be discovered in the correct sequence of events, and if the sequence is broken, sexuality is brought in too early. You can go back, learn how to handle that, and let the foundation settle and reintegrate. But it's all about integration to the earth. So you come from above, I come from below. I'm sorry about denting your
That's
your
okay.
head.
Well, actually, there's a good thing about, that's okay, that's okay. Actually, what comes to mind is we've been talking first about what's happening on the side of the practitioner, okay? So let's flip the question just a little bit. What ideally, if there is an ideal, is going on inside of that being who is the patient or the client? And I would start with this position, which is that a lot of this system that is the integral awareness medicine, as I was just speaking about this yesterday to a number of practitioners in our orientation session, the integral awareness medicine practitioner has a responsibility to communicate and help with the transference of a form of mastery into that patient who is their client, their customer, or their patient. And there are many ways of achieving that. So when I translate what you are just demonstrating here, Johnny, is that you're teaching me what it takes to get back in touch with the innate knowledge and to remember that innate knowledge within myself. And obviously, you have a certain innate advantage being in theta so much of the time. You don't have the negative encumbrance of so many other distracting thoughts and other moods and things of that nature that us more neurotypicals would have to engage with. Okay. On the other hand, let's say we do practice and attain a level of personal discipline, personal mastery, so that whatever is our stuff, we are able to set it aside for the most part. We are able to go into the silent space. We are able to be open to that intimacy and then engage our clients, engage our patients. Now, from there, how might we also best assist them in tapping into their inner intelligence? What else might we encourage them to do? Do you do, for example, on the educational side or the patient preparation side prior to the insertion of the needles or things of this nature?
Basically I just have them relax and, as far as the patient preparation and giving them a little responsibility, reminds me of a situation a while back, 15 years ago. People would come in, and flu season's always around when the sugar comes out, September through Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, college bowl game, Super Bowl. Last time to get your sugar, Valentine's Day. Well, people would come in and, Dr. Sandy, I have the flu. And I would always ask them, why do you think? Well, I don't know, you're the doctor. And so part of this education is, okay, what did you do different? There's something that's not resonating with your body, something that's not resonating with your frequency that you did differently. And so now when people come in, part of my education way is, if someone has something, I ask them, why do you think you have that? I hurt my shoulder, why do you think? And remember, and one of the things I always say is the obvious is never the real reason. I bent over and picked up a piece of paper and threw out my back. I reached up the cupboard and get something and I threw out my shoulder. That's not the real reason. And when you start thinking, no, maybe that was not the real reason, what is the real reason? They start going farther back. And sometimes I tell people, don't think about it, don't left brain it. Just put that thought in your mind and you get the ahas later. You may be driving down the freeway, you know, angry because it's not moving, and you get the aha. Or you might be taking a shower. Oh, the real reason that happened, the real reason that's going on is something different. So the whole idea of the obvious is never the real reason. It just makes them start thinking about, okay, there's multiple levels. It's not just, let's get rid of the signs and symptoms. Something's, you know, Chinese medicine, something's hot, give them cold. Something's cold, give them something hot. Something is stuck, let's unstick it. But there's something behind that. So part of the education, you know, is to have them start being aware, okay, last time we drank too much, I had a headache for 3 days. Last time I had too much sugar, I had sinus problems, or whatever it is. And once they start realizing that, and then the next step is being responsible to themselves. My body doesn't like this, maybe I shouldn't do that. And the next thing is moving to the next level of awareness or consciousness. It's just aligning yourself. And remember, as you go toward the center, I use the word center, the interesting thing is it never stops. It's always about refining your center. And as we get older, things that maybe we needed at a younger age, we no longer need them. And so it's about being aware of what works for you. What works for you may not work for your husband or your wife or your children. What works for them may not work for you. So it's about refining everything to get to your center. When you get to your center, you have a better chance of really finding your puzzle piece. You're not here just to survive, just to have a living, just to, you know, pay for a house, and now I'm time to retire, I'm gonna find things to do. We wake up one day, we're 80 years old, 85, say, is that what life is about? Yeah, I had a good life, and worked, and, you know, made it to 85. No, there's much more to that. So when we start taking responsibility to discover what works for us and find our center, when we really find our puzzle piece, why we're here. Everyone has a puzzle piece. Some people need to be famous and politicians and whatever. Other people have to do other things. But when you find your puzzle piece, the energy of the planet shifts, because that one person that's aligned shifts the whole consciousness of the 7 billion people. So more and more people that are aligned to their puzzle piece. I was made to be a gardener. I was made to raise the best tomatoes and grow the best tomatoes. I was born to be whatever. But you really find it, you really discover that. It shifts in this critical mass energy. It shifts like the 100 monkey. It shifts into something else. So it starts with, first, if something's not working for you, you have that headache, you have the neck ache, why do you think you got that? And that's just the beginning. I kind of challenge them a little bit.
I totally go with it. In fact, my corporation, my LLC was called 100th Monkey because the story is that these monkeys on a beach on an island, one day would always shake a tree, the fruit would hit the sand, they'd eat sandy fruit. One day one monkey washed the fruit, and another one saw it, and then suddenly every monkey on every island was washing the fruit. Critical mass was reached. I totally buy that. I come from the other end, from beneath, and I tell people when they come in that you have a date tattooed on the inside of your left butt cheek, and it's a due date, and your body is the book that the universe gave you to learn from, and God's not laughing at you. That's not why your eyes go bad, your hearing fails, your muscles fail. That's the due date, so you know you better start learning from it now. And I believe that everything we manifest, every illness or dis-ease, is us saying, I can't figure this out. I'll put it in my body, and if I figure it out, I don't fall down. If I figure it out, and I say we've got 5 paradigms to learn from. One is muscle bone. If you do it right, you have power and you don't get hurt. If you do it wrong, you can't do it. Proof. Logically, you can explain anything you want, but the fact is, you do it right, I can stand on one straight knee and push anyone I want over. And the experience says, I don't need to understand it, I can do it. So one is muscle and bone. One is cardiovascular. Our brain says, you're cold, tighten up all your muscles to get warm. Well, actually relaxing them works better. The experience of each of the paradigms teaches us so much. Sex is a paradigm. For a woman to have an orgasm, it has to be a series of hold back, stay back, give me some flowers, be nice to me, and gentling the man until she opens, and is able to achieve an orgasm. Each system in the body is there for us to learn from. We just choose what lessons we want to manifest on the body, and then proceed to use a physiological learning within the time frame that no one here gets out alive. And that time frame itself, you have to embrace that I'm young, I have muscles to teach me chi until I don't need muscles to have the chi of incredible strength and power. I have all these things to teach me. And thank God there is a time limit, that there is an end point. All the time when people say, I want to write for Longevity magazine, and I say, okay, you and I are madly sexually in love, and we want to consummate our union, but we're both gods, we're going to live forever, so we're going to consummate this just as soon as I'm done watching that blade of grass grow. Actually, I'm going to watch the whole field grow. We got forever. There's no passion without a time limit. There's no joy without a time limit. So it's written on your butt cheek, it's a due date, the book is due back at the big library, and you get to play out anything you want as what you will call a crisis. And I was a kid who spent his life bashing his head into the wall as a child, making holes in the plasterboard. We speak at autism conferences, and someone said, you don't understand, my child's a headbanger. My wife says, I do understand. He's doing it for a good reason. She says, there's nothing good about it, he's hurting himself. When I bang, my wife says it releases endorphins and helps me round off the edges of the day. It creates a proprioceptive safety zone for me to process. I say there's nothing that a person wants that isn't good. There just might be more efficient ways to achieve the thing that they're seeking. Dis-ease is going about it in a less than perfectly efficient way. I believe in helping from the ground up. You find a more efficient line of chi to flow through you. And healing is then just sharing the dance that the person has chosen to do with leprosy, AIDS, a bad back, so that the spirit can learn through the body by allowing the chi and let them learn what they came here to learn and go home.
Oh, good. Why don't we take a break at this moment? We're going to cool down this room a little bit because it's getting pretty energized in here. And we'll come back, and what I'd like us to go into, if it's okay with you guys, is the subject of consciousness.
Goody.
All right? We'll take a break.